What's up guys, I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna be playing as Poland. And the last time I played as Poland, it was I think 3 months ago, quite a while. And today we're gonna be forming the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth. And so to do that, right, we can't do that instantly as Poland in the modern day scenario. So we gotta form this well, Poland, but not just Poland, but with its medieval borders, basically. That's basically what it is. And so, as of now, for like in the modern day scenario, in terms of this, we only have to attack Ukraine, and so that's what I do pretty easily. In terms of the European nations in the modern day scenario, they have relatively high amounts of factories, like the very high economy, and so it's very easy to invade with them. And so just like that, I took all the territory I needed from Ukraine and formed Poland. And so now I'm a monarchy. And so I quickly assimilated all this territory, and then I have the ability to form the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth. Ironically, I think its height. Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth. Just a little bit of background. It was once, I think, the most populous and I think powerful state in Europe at its height. And however, eventually it got like weak and corrupt. Not corrupt, but like it divided it on itself mainly between the various princes and all that, and then eventually it was partitioned by like Austria, Prussia, and Russia. So I guess you could say Poland's getting like sweet revenge or something, you know. And over here, Latvia, I start attacking Latvia, and they do push back, but just like that, I invade. And I start attacking the Baltic states because Ukraine is currently in a truce, so that's why I didn't do it. And just like that, I invaded Lithuania and Latvia. Easy to take over. And then I have Sweden declares war on me. So to get them off my back, you get Norway and Denmark to attack them from two sides, which they still don't make peace with. But hey, man, the AI won't bother me now. And so I raise an army in Poland, mainly because Lithuania and Latvia aren't fully assimilated yet. And I invade Estonia. Estonia here, however, I only have to take this much. I only have to take like half of their country, not half, like a third of 2/3 of their country, and so I do that just pretty easily. And since I have a bunch of troops remaining, I decide to prepare for an invasion of Belarus since they're the next best target for me. And I decide to wait until Lithuania is completely assimilated, so I could use that for some extra manpower. Extra manpower never hurt anybody, So I line up all my border troops, and just I swear I think we've invaded Belarus like three times in this YouTube channel. Like two as Russian, and now as the Polish. And the thing is, their entire country is a part of the borders I need. So yeah, I guess Belarus is gonna die again. Anyways, I assimilate Belarus relatively quickly. And then, of course, I immediately prepare for invasion of Ukraine. Again, I guess. And so the annoying thing was like, and the annoying thing was that Belarus wasn't assimilated, so I had to raise troops elsewhere. But it's fine. Again, as I was saying, like the economy of Poland in this modern day scenario, pretty strong. It can sustain this massive army. So just like that, I declare war on Ukraine. And the thing was, the front line really was not balanced at all. Like, it was just a massive salient. And so I had to move troops around in my own territory. I didn't just do like my usual frontal assault, It was mainly, not frontal assault, like the line, you could say. The front lines look really weird. I'm just saying, honestly. But the Ukrainians do push back, and they're even able to break my front line. Eventually. Yeah, I was okay. Those times I was checking to make sure that like these borders are exactly as they needed to be. Because I'll tell you one thing, Poland, Lithuania, right? Most of these other medieval borders, when you try to reform in the modern day, it's just hard. Cause like they're so like, how do I say this? They're not straight, or like they're just like they bend and turn and twist so much. It's annoying almost. And so I take all the territory I need, but unfortunately, the AI does not want to do that. Like they don't want to accept the peace deal because, you know, not enough. I don't have enough score, you could say, or stars. And so I just decided, you know what, like invade the rest of Ukraine. Like that'll make them think about it. Think about, surrendering. And I take the territory. And see, I take a quite a long time. I do this several times actually. If you'll notice, I look, I even go along the line, follow along with my fingers just to make sure that I get exactly the right territory. This part annoyed me the most because I do not want to mess this up and then have to like retake territory. And I did, and I ended up messing it up anyways. But at least I took more, not less. So I just gave it back to Ukraine. And that also had a little bit of a tactical edge to it because what that did was, since my next enemy would be Russia, I kind of reduced the border, which always helps really, funnel troops and all. So now I take these next few turns to raise up a little bit of army, and by this point I'm second in the world, which is quite impressive. But I'll tell you one thing: if you form a moderately sized empire like this, and maybe like take over a huge swath of land, especially in Europe, you will get like the number one, like you'll get in the top 10 in the world, because there's a lot of factories in Europe, and so that's the main thing. Anyways, I make sure to prepare well for the invasion of Russia, and conveniently, they're fighting the US as well. So I think, oh yeah, okay, they're distracted, and I go in for a full-on assault this time. Like at this time, while I was attacking, I didn't even care about the map anymore. Like I didn't even care about like how much territory I needed. And then I look and then I see, oh wow, I took literally all the land I needed. But I decided, keep moving. And then all of a sudden, Germany attacks me. Now, of course, 1939 vibes, but like, that was just a jump scare, bro. Like, I was not expecting that. And then, right after Germany makes peace, Russia decides to counterattack. The perfect timing, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, you think Germany and Russia about to divide Poland up like good old, not good old, but the old times, you know? Uh, but luckily, Germany makes peace, so it doesn't happen. Russia breaks through my front line and kind of like encircles a whole bunch of people, but nah, it's fine. They don't need food. They're completely fine. And I eventually break the Russian advance, I guess. Not an advance. It's more just like a spread out tactic. Anyways, I take all the territory I need and annex. I decide, you know what? Yeah, I can just take all of this. And stupid me misses one province. One province. And then right after that war, Romania declares on me. And I think, oh, they're just gonna peace out like any other nation, but no. No, Romania decides they're gonna be the only country to not peace out when they're at war with me. I guess it's because they were doing so well. And like after this point, I legitimately get freaked out because like Romania is just in unimpeded in I said this unstoppable advance, you could say. And so I start rushing troops all the way from Russia, the Russian border. And then I realized that all these troops in Germany are just eating up a shit ton of my like money. And so I quickly disband all of them. They're not even doing anything because I completely forgot about them. And I tactically placed those 3,000 guys there in Kiev to act as, say, an anchor, and also so that they could bleed troops. And they did eventually, and they only had a few hundred left by the time, and I retook it as well. And now my reinforcements had arrived, and so I started to steamroll them once again. But Romania was still controlling quite a chunk of territory. And so eventually, with the help of Moldova, I'm able to contain them, mainly because Moldova has provided a great distraction. And it's pretty intense battle, but I decided, you know what, peace out. Why waste my time and all that? And they do. And unfortunately, me peacing out kind of means the end for Moldova. And so they stop existing. And then I prepare to finally... I start grouping up my men to, finally prepare for the invasion of Russia. As I was going to do before the whole surprise-ass invasion. So that's the second surprise invasion. And I once again stack up the border with troops. Of course, I recruit from Lithuanian, Belarus, and all, and I prepare. And this time, I have enough of money. It wasn't like the Romanian invasion where I just was broke. So this time, they're at peace, but I decide, you know what? I'll just get them to attack China. But then I'm like, nah, just Kazakhstan's enough. And so Kazakhstan starts invading Russia, and I just, go and exploit the conflict, steal its state, and done. Just like that, I formed the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth. But I can. But you know me, I want my borders to be as accurate as possible. And so what I do is I decide to create a puppet state. Now I initially wanted to create Prussia. So like I scroll all the way down and create Prussia, but I realized it's kind of awkward when you consider the history of Poland, Lithuania. Like, why would they have Prussia as a puppet? But yeah. So I decided, you know what, Silesia works too. Because why not? And then I released Silesia, and I decided to give them, I decided to carefully trade the rest of the provinces because I really, really don't want to mess this up. And I give the Pomerania to them carefully. And then I give a bunch of East Prussia. But I end up giving the wrong province. And so I have to trade with them and buy the province back. And since they don't have cores, they actually sell it to me, which is pretty shocking because the AI usually never sells you. And so I give them the right province, and just like that, I form the proper Polish Lithuania Commonwealth. See you guys next time.